I thought I will tell more. I don't go usually very lightweight, but it has become a topic is about to done today. Okay. So major portion is completed. So any small or doubts you can see. The next one is, guys, what is a subnet mask? Just before what we discussed about classes and class ranges and network portion and host portions, and each class, what is their network range? What is their network range? Based on their network ID, what is their network and host, and what is their number of hosts per network also we discussed. So if you have a devices in the network, if you want to make them communicate, make sure their network portion must be same. And that is our calculation about system calculation. How system will understand and divide our network into network and host. How system can understand, and system can decide both systems are in same network or not. Both are in a same network or not. How system will understand? System use subnet mask. So when you're checking your IP address, so when you see IP config, you can see there is an IP address and there is a subnet mask. This subnet mask will decide what is your network portion and a host portion. Okay, if both network IDs are same, they will communicate each other. Or both network portion is same, they will communicate each other. So which way you can use it. So subnet mask will tell you what is your network ID. Subnet mask divide an IP address into network and host portions. This subnet mask use a AND gate operation. Guys, there is a several logical gates are there. Several logic gates are there. Like a AND gate, OR gate, NOR gate, XOR gate. Okay. So do not think, sir, I am not from engineering, I am not from CSC, we don't have. That gate things you learn in 10th class only. As I remember, because I have learned in my olden days in 10th class means you are already learned. It is there. Sets, unions, and truth tables are there now. True, true, false, 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 true, true, false, false. Right? Same way it is. This is the AND gate. Both are true. Sorry. Both are true. Output is true. Both are false, or any one of input is false, output is false. Okay, so that is a truth table. So we are using binary numbers here, not a true false kind of stuff. So both are high means both are ones, output is 1. Any one is 0, output is 0. So using this AND gate operation, so the subnet mask will extract network ID from your IP address. There is a default subnet mask are there. Okay, so for class A 255.0.0.0, for class B 255.255.200.0, class C 255.255.255.0. 3 classes. Okay. Next. These are the default subnet masks. Here, how to find this network ID? Just an example purpose only. If you don't get it, no problem. Okay. So, but listen carefully. This is an IP address. This is a subnet mask. Now, what system will do? It convert this IP address into binary format. 255 means all are ones. This is 192.168.10.20. It convert into binary and start doing AND operation. See, it is 111, 111, 010, 010, 010, like that. Again 111, 01, 0. 111 again. So you see 0 1 0 111 like this. Okay, so once you've done ending operation, so you'll get a network ID. So this is my IP address, this is my subnet mask. Now I got a network ID. So if I have a 2-3 computers, their network ID is same. When you are sending and receiving the packets, so usually you are sending a packet, so their network ID and your network ID is same, so communication is happens. So this is about your basic point in a subnet mask. What is subnet mask? Tells what is your network ID. Subnet mask divide your IP address into network portion and host portion. This is not a main concept, but just I'm telling, I'm not adding here. Just one word I will tell. What is subnetting? Some people learn networking, or some people say like I know networking part. Subnetting is also very important in it. Okay, for you it is a no problem, but again it will take 2 to 3 days to explain complete subnetting concept. So I'm giving only 1 or 2 points only. Try to understand. Subnetting is the method to use to divide your one network into multiple subnets. Subnetting is a concept or a method we use to divide our IP address, IP network into multiple networks. See, this is one IP network. This is one IP network. This network can able to get 254 PCs. We can 254 IP addresses we are getting from this network class C, 254 IP addresses. So I'm dividing these 254 IP addresses, 254 IP addresses I'm getting. Okay. If I divide this network into small parts, like a subnets, so number of networks will be created within this range. So I think I have written some ranges here, right? Network ranges, right? CTC. So totally 256. Totally 256 IP addresses, and hosts are 254 IP addresses. Okay, this 256 total IP addresses we can divide into multiple network wise also, just by changing the subnet mask. Just by changing subnet mask, we can divide a network into multiple subnets. What is the purpose to divide, guys? Depends upon number of IP address requirement. We are using private IP addresses. Mostly the private IP addresses are free kind of stuff. Private IP are free, no need to pay. But public IP addresses are there. For example, there is an organization has some 20 servers are there. 20 servers are there. Okay, so these 20 servers require at least 20 public IP addresses. 20 servers should be connected to public means 20 public IP addresses required. 20 is to 20. 20 private IP addresses, 20 public IP addresses. First one. Twenty private, 20 public. Sorry, 20 servers, 20 public IP address required. Now I want to buy a 20 public IP addresses. So I reach the IANA, ICANN, or maybe the ISP. So you have to buy a network. Means at least if you take class C, you will get a 254 IP addresses. You are buying a network means you are buying 254 IP addresses. So you have 20 servers. So how many are there? 234 IP addresses not using, wasted, not utilizing better way. Okay. Second one is these 234 IP addresses you are not using, but still you have to pay for a network. So in that cases, generally we use subnetting concept. What is using this subnetting? As per your requirement, network will be divided based on your number of IP addresses required. Generally, you needed 20 means you will get 30 IP addresses. Total 32 minus 2, totally 30 IP addresses you will get. Okay, so you have a 50 computers, 50 IP address you required, 64 minus 2, 62 IP address you will get it per network. Okay, so don't get confused, guys. Subnetting means you have a network, either class A or class B, class A or class B or class C. You have a network, one network that is divided into multiple subnets. When you divide a network into small parts, automatically per subnet, number of hosts per subnet is also reduced. What is the use? That is the use. Best utilization of public IP addresses. How to achieve this subnetting concept? By changing subnet mask. Okay. So if you are using default subnet mask, if you are using this default subnet mask, your network is called a classful network. If you are using a customized subnet mask, customized means your network cities, this is a default subnet mask. This kind of network is called a classful network. If you use a different subnet mask, this is class B, I am using different subnet mask, means it is classless. Okay, so that's the point. So simple, guys. What is subnetting? Subnetting is a method or a process to divide a large network into small networks. So how to do subnetting? By changing subnet mask. Very simple. Don't go to more than that one. Okay. So next one is subnet mask. When you are telling about your IP address, or when you are giving an IP address, compulsory you have to tell the subnet mask. Okay, when you are using a subnet mask, when you are telling about your subnet mask, compulsory you have to give an IP address. City IP address. And also we can represent subnet mask with a slash. Generally, if you don't tell a subnet mask, it is generally a false subnet mask. Mostly have it.
Sir? Sir, earlier there was a background noise was coming, so I just thought to mention you. But now it's fine.
Okay. So, guys, when you are writing an IP address, you have to tell a subnet mask. Okay. So when you are giving an IP address, means you have to tell about your subnet mask. This is my IP address. This is my subnet mask. Whether it is a classful or a classless. Okay, whether it is a classful or a classless, you have to give the subnet mask. For a better easy to make it, I will remove all these things. Okay, because while I'm typing, I do more complex things. Okay, this is the way to represent subnet mask. So this is an IP address, this is subnet mask. Okay, sometimes we can represent subnet mask as a slash notation. This method called CIDR, the way it is also say prefix. You tell like a /8 prefix, /16, /25, that represent it is prefix, not subnet mask, it is prefix. Or we can say the prefix is nothing but your subnet mask only. So how this prefix will come up? So it depends upon number of ones in your subnet mask. number of ones in the subnet mask. This is the default subnet mask, right? 255.0.0.0 means 255 means 8 ones /8. 255.255 means 8 and 8, totally 16 ones are there. Okay. Otherwise, I will write here, guys. Look at this is in binary, 8 ones are there. Only one I will write. Okay. 255.0.0.0, it is /8. Okay, 8 means 8 ones. Same way, 16, 1, 1, 1, 1, like that it will come. Same thing only, but this is 1, 1. This is also all are ones, remaining are zeros. Okay, network bits. Okay, same 24. This is, I will give you for this one, just for our understanding. See, so 24 plus 1. So 255, 255, 255. So 3, 8 ones are completed. 24. 25th one. So 128. Okay. This is the /25. What is this slash notation, guys? Slash notation, also called as a prefix or CIDR method. It represents subnet mask. So you can write a subnet mask like this, or you can write a subnet mask like this also. The simple way is better. Here also I've written, see, depends upon this chart. Like if you have like this, then it is 252. So it is 240, 240, 255, 255. This is 240 in binary and zeros. So this is entirely this part, all are ones. Is there no? This entire ones represent network, this entire zeros represent host. And number of ones are 20. This is /20. This is /27. You must know how to convert binary. Okay, maybe now or later. Guys, learning is passion. Just like how you want to learn something new things, new kind of stuff, like including TikTok or Instagram, how interesting is there. So if you keep learning, it's a keep learning thing. Okay, so this is about your subnet mask. Guys, okay, understand?
Yes, sir.
Last 2 points are there. Maybe I will add up a remaining point or not. I will check it. What is the remaining parts? We'll see later. This is a private IP addresses. What is a private IP addresses? Is a non-routable in public. It means internet. We use these IP addresses in LAN communication. Private IP addresses only for LAN communications. These are the complete IP address ranges. Class A 10.0.0.0 means exactly say entire 10 series. Exactly say entire 10 series. 10 dot this entire series. Okay, is belongs to private only. For example, I have a big network. Okay, I have a big network, so I want to more than 65,000 computers are there. I want to use a private IP. What is only 10 one only 10. Next one is 172. Guys, 172 16 to 172 31 is there. Okay, so 16 is different, 17 is different. Different networks also there here. Okay, Meaning is it is either 16 to 31. Any number you see, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, this part, anything it can be there, 16 to 31. It can be 17, 18, 19, but it is a private only, but not same network, guys. But not a same network. Be careful in it. Okay, be careful in it. 172.16, a private IP. 172.17, a private IP, but not same. Both are private. You can use that one or this one, but not same network. But not same network. Both are same classes. Both are private, but not same network. Same classes does not represent same. Same it is goes for 170, 192, 168, 0 dot any IP address here. This is can be 0 to 255. Okay, so it can be 0 or 1, 2, 3, but it is a private IP, but not a same network. Same thing I'm writing here, 168, 0, some IP address, something I am not writing that one, 172, 1, just for an example for our understanding. Okay, so look like both are private, of course, both are private, but not same. Private and public. To communicate in private, we use private IP. Private means local LAN communication. Correct. To communicate outside of LAN or private or to public, you can say to your public IP or internet, need public IP address. Need a public IP address. Remember those points. I will give small explanation, guys. So how our internet is works. This is your home or office. Okay. This is your devices. Either they connected via device or wirelessly. I don't mind. Okay. So like this, I'm representing my network. This is a LAN network. No problem, right? This is my LAN communication. I have a PCA and there is a PCB and PCC, PCD are communicating each other. To communicate from A to B or A to D, A send a packet and D receives. Do you need any internet here? Do I need any router kind of stuff here?
No, sir.
Not required, right? Which is simple LAN network. I can use my any private IP addresses I want. Now I have a server. So I'll going back to the basics again. I have a server here. Server or a device, anything, no problem. So this is a server, for example, web server or mail server. Same thing. You want to communicate from BPC to server. Intranet, right? BPC to server you are accessing intranet. Remember this intranet. Okay. So you don't require any internet. You don't require any public IP here also. Intranet means communicating within the LAN. So whether it is server or no server, we're communicating within the LAN. Now, this server, someone want to communicate. Someone want to communicate from outside of your network through internet. They know your IP address, but someone want to communicate your server. You are purely in private, so you cannot able to communicate. Okay. Next one. This is a router and there is a modem. Okay. And there is an ISP. Again, we'll go back to this. This is in general. It is we are connected to internet like this. This is internet, and this guy also connected through internet. Now we are connected to internet. This is my LAN network. This is my outside. Either we can say WAN or we can say internet. This is ISP, my modem, and my router, my default gateway, whatever it is. Okay. In generally, we do not have any public IP address or our own. Why? Because of there is a some translations are there. Okay, so I will explain that one also. Now, this server want to connect this public. What is required? This is required a public IP address. So we are connected to internet, and we should assign an IP address, public IP address to our server. So people in the network, so they can able to communicate to your server. Okay, so you have a server or a device, you assign a public IP address, so people can able to access your server through public. Okay, understand guys that point? So point to point. Okay. So here it is. I don't want to assign, like I have a private IP. I have my own private IP. The server is having some private IP. So internally, so for example, 172.168.0.88, for example. This is my internal IP address. My private IP. This is the private IP. Okay. But when it is going outside, it want to communicate with some public. So internally it is having a private IP. But when for outsiders, I use some public IP. So for example, 202.12.3, something like this. This is my public IP. So inside this server having a private IP only. Okay. For example, this user through internet use this public IP. So you send a request to with this public IP. You send a request come to here, then it is translate into this private IP and it will send. Okay, internally this IP only. For public people, they know this IP address only. Okay, so this technique we call it as a NAT technique. NAT technique. Network address translation. Network address translation. NAT means network address translation. It maps internal, means your private IP address to your public IP address. My PC is configured with an IP address like in a private IP, but it is when it is communicating outside, it communicates with a public IP. There is a picture is there like this. That's why it is not coming. Okay. So this is my inside private IP, but when it is communicating outside, communicating to outside and communicating from outside also, it use a public IP. Guys understand? NAT?
Yes, sir.
network address translation. But in this NAT, you have a direct 10 servers are there. So you have a 10 private IP addresses. Then we need a 10 public IP addresses required. Right? So that is good for your organization. No problem. But in our home, how many PCs are there? It is server or a PC, normal PC also same concept. You want to communicate in outside, you need a public IP address. If you know public IP address, you cannot communicate. You cannot communicate. Okay, no public IP address, you cannot communicate. But if you have a multiple PCs, then we need a multiple public IP address. You have a 10 computers are there means 10 private IP addresses means 10 public IP addresses are required. In generally in my home, if I go, when I'm going to outside or maybe in our office, several staff is working, so many laptops, so many desktops, so many private IP addresses. But what happens if I am communicating outside? I need those many public IP addresses. Even you take a normal home in my system, so TV is there, TV, laptops, mobile phones, tablets, right? So different devices, network connecting devices are there. So they need an IP address. They need an IP address. So they need an IP address. Next, to communicate in outside, they need a public IP address. So then we are using this port technique. What is this port technique? All these devices required to communicate outside, right? All these devices want to communicate outside of the network. Okay, they want to go and find a google.com, youtube.com, facebook.com. They want to communicate. But we cannot purchase so many public IP addresses. What we do? We use a technique called PAT. What is the PAT? You have a private IP, private IP, private IP, and only one public IP. Okay, using a port technique, we translate the things. Means one single public IP address and multiple private IP addresses. Example, we can see I have a 3 PCs. All these PCs having a private IP, but only one public. Using a port technique like this. Okay, by port mapping, we can able to communicate. PAT, port address translation, also called NAT overload. The method, original method is NAT method only, but NAT is strict to one-to-one type. But PAT is not one-to-one type. Using this port mapping, like we are getting many to one. Guys, we are all getting internet and we are safe. How? In our PCs having private IP addresses and we are communicating to outside with one single public only. If someone knows your public IP address, if they want to attack you with a public IP, if they know private IP, they can't do anything. If they know your private IP, they can't attack anyone. If they know your public IP, so they will reach up to your ISP. From ISP, that same public IP is used by multiple devices. Which one he will come and reach? So confusion is there. Okay. So like that we are secure, but only one thing is, guys, never open illegal and certain type of websites, which is very dangerous websites, duplicate websites, pornographic websites, Trojan, that means torrent websites. Okay, do not download applications from third parties, torrents. Okay, so it contains a malware kind of stuff. Whether you are having a PAT technique, NAT technique, nothing will work. So it is directly connected to the remote user, remote access person. So this is about here. I think already I told about APIPA, automatic private IP address. This is the APIPA range. What is a APIPA? Guys, DHCP server. You are getting so you are trying to get a IP address from DHCP server. Sometimes your PC is unable to get an IP address from DHCP. Okay. Sometimes your PC is unable to get an IP address from DHCP server. So IP address will be assigned. Okay. IP address will be assigned by system itself from APIPA range. What is APIPA range? This is the APIPA range. When you check your IP address, if it is IP address showing like this, means it is an error. It is invalid IP address, no use. Why you are getting that kind of IP address? System try to get IP address from DHCP server. If it is failed to get IP address, then your system has an IP address from APIPA range, automatic private IP address. What to do? Check your IP address, MAC bindings, any issues are there from the server side, try to resolve it first. Then come back to your PC, try to check are you getting new IP address or not. Otherwise, disable your adapter, enable your adapter, and or you can use a command ipconfig release. So remember only APIPA, what is APIPA and their ranges. When you see this kind of IP address, this APIPA address, automatic private IP address. Okay guys, this is about your networking part. So anything left over or troubleshooting, please go through once again, and compulsory networking commands, ping command is also important. Okay. Tomorrow we'll try to start a new topic or any other topic, because okay, check once. Yes, Saturday classes also you have a PPT. Please check once more. Okay. So once we are completed technical faster, then you can concentrate more time on a version test. Okay. That's it for today, guys.